Hello.
Hey there.
Hi, Tom.
Nice to meet you over
There's
video.
Sherry. Sherry's coming on right now, too.
Yeah,
This is
sounds great.
awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I'm really excited about this. This is great.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host.
Name, so people can understand how to pronounce my name. Ah, I meant, hi, I meant, what? Okay, hang on for a second. Ah. Oh, yeah, there you are. So I'm trying to wait. Francesca's trying to get in too.
Can you hear me?
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Francesca's trying to get in, so hang on one second. Let me see if I can get her in.
Okay, can you hear me now? Wait.
Yeah, definitely. You're all lined up. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Just fine. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yep, of course. Happy to help.
Let's see. There's Francesca.
Yay. We're all here. So happy you guys are here. Support me. We can't hear you, Francesca. We can't hear you.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Nice to meet you, Sherry and Tom.
Nice to meet you, Francesca.
Nice to meet you as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom, for allowing us to come on and do this with you. We're super excited. It's awesome.
Oh, I'm grateful to have you here. It's fantastic.
So how many people are have signed up? Do you know?
I was looking at that a minute ago, and of course, once I go into the meeting, it takes me off of that page. I think it's 40 something, high 40s, maybe something like that.
And usually when they get that many signups, is it like half show up or 2/3 show up or all of them?
No, it won't be all of them. My guess is somewhere around 30.
Okay.
That's my guess, but I mean,
It's great.
it's not like it's a routine thing. We can always count on it, but
right. Yeah. Well, awesome. This is great. So, do you want to talk about what we're going to do tonight? Logistics, all that stuff?
Yeah. And I realized that I haven't looked into kind of setting up breakouts, and I'm not sure if I've got you as co-host, if you can do that, or if there's something that I need to do.
So at some point, if we need to do that, you can just transfer host privileges to me, and then I can take the breakout rooms, and I can do that for you.
Okay.
When we need to do that.
Okay.
So it depends on who shows up and how many, when they say that there's difference between a newbie to phone banking and through talk and a newbie to like, how do you create a tab in your browser? Like there's different levels of newbie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it depends on if there's like 20 of those people, we're going to be pulling our hair out all night long,
Yeah.
So hopefully there won't be that many newbies to computer use,
Right.
I don't know. So that's why I have all these assistants just to back me up for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because yesterday we had a phone bank and when they said they were new, I thought they were new to through talk. They're most like, oh my God. There were a lot of them that were new to like, I don't know how to change my browser to default browser. I don't know how to use a tab, so that was really challenging. So I had to put people in breakout rooms yesterday a lot more than normal.
Yeah.
So, we'll just have to see how every time I do a phone bank, it's different, right?
Yes.
So
for sure. Okay. Great. Yeah. So we'll just
So
do that.
I'll be letting people in. We're going to wait till 6 to let people in, and we're going to.
Yeah, I'm going to wait at least for a little while since
Okay.
we're kind of getting our stuff together here.
So I'm
Perfect,
sorry, are we going to try to do breakout rooms or just wait and see how it goes? And if we end up doing a breakout room, Tom, are you familiar with how to do that or?
No, I'm going to take over that, Sherry. So I'm
You
going
are?
to take over.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not
all right.
going to do breakout until the end. You know how we usually do it at the end? We'll, after you do the full training, we'll see how maybe some people can get on for a while. And then at that time, we'll see if we need to do, I'll definitely do a live demo. So maybe it's after the live demo, they won't need any breakout rooms.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then one other question, because typically I help with posting links, Tom, and Maitri obviously, but Tom, are you going to be posting links if folks are actually going to get to the dialer and start making calls and things, or?
I don't have any links right now, so.
Yes, Sherry, we're the ones in charge of the phone bank. So we're
Okay,
going to be doing the links. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do, because it's going to be so late at 7:30, like we're going to be getting on like at 7:30 our time. We're going to send them to Arizona or Nevada. I think Nevada is probably the best one.
all right, so that's the email links for this week.
Yeah, for tonight, just for tonight. So the link I sent you yesterday, that's not the right link. So what I'll do is I can email you right now the links. How about that?
Yeah.
So I'll just do that right now. I'll email you the links.
Okay.
Have them, and then we'll do that. Because we want to put 2 links in just in case, because I don't know how stable the links are today, because yesterday we had issues, right? So it's good to have backup links. Okay, so let me do that.
And so, so Sherry and Francesca, what we'll do is I'm going to open the meeting and talk for it's probably around 15 minutes, maybe 20, something like that, to go over some, basically 2 kind of indivisible things. One is countering disinformation kind of move that Indivisible is doing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then about Protect the Results, which is a multi-organization coalition that's focused on post-election, making sure the votes actually get counted. And that all the work that we're doing doesn't just get, tossed or interfered with. And so,
sounds great.
So I'm going to kind of walk people through those 2 things. And then I will turn it over to you for the third and kind of most critical piece, which is getting out the vote and specifically learning how to phone bank. And my guess is, we have a ton of people who have been writing postcards for forever. Like the kind of our main postcarding effort, they've put out something like 156,000 postcards since January 1st. So a lot of people are very familiar with that, but not as many people who have kind of, picked up the reins and gone for phone banking. And obviously, at this point, it's got to be the focus.
Yeah.
Right. And people, and for folks that have been writing postcards, there may be still a few things that are going on, but there's not much. So it's we're really trying to help people get as engaged as they can and do what's really needed now, even if they're less familiar with it or maybe a little shy about it. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
For that reason, we're very grateful to have you here. And
It's really good to work together.
Yeah.
Now, was that 156,000 or whatever the number was that just by Indivisible Sonoma County? The postcards that, wow, that's impressive, Tom. That's great.
Yeah, they've been working really hard at it.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the town of Sonoma. I know the local folks here have done at least another, 10 or 15,000, something like that, just in town. But yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, I think it really took off starting in 2018. People got really used to doing that and kind of formed groups around it. And so it's nice when it becomes a habit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Maitri, so I got the links.
Yep. So I think you're set.
Yeah, I'll kind of wait for your cue to post them in the chat.
Right. Okay. I think I want to send you, well, maybe I'll do it later. Because I know, Tom, you said you wanted us to put in links to our phone bank. So I think we should put the links to my phone banks, and also the Linktree link too for all of them. So I'll put mine in, and then the entire Linktree.
Yeah, that would be great.
So then they can click on those, they can sign up for shifts right away, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I would love it if you would really, make that pitch to people so that they don't kind of get a taste of things tonight and then go, oh, that was nice.
Right, have to sign up right away.
Exactly. If we can get them to make a commitment now, that would be best.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, I think I'll do that. Let me get those links up right now.
Okay.
So Tom, how long have you been with Indivisible doing this work?
Since 2017. So.
Oh, wow.
One more second, you guys.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And how long have you all been phone banking?
Wow, different. For me, it's been since Kamala, I dived in when Kamala became nominated as VP. I was always a Biden supporter, like I love Biden, whatever, but I wasn't excited about it until I was waiting. Who's she gonna? I needed an African-American woman. I needed a Black woman. And then I'm like jumping up and down going, all right, now I'm diving in. So I was very excited about that. So
yeah, fantastic.
But you guys have been doing it for a while. Sherry, have you been doing it longer? You were longer than me, right?
Well, I started through Indivisible back in of course, January 2017. I got that booklet that they circulated on Facebook and immediately plugged in my zip code and went to the very first Indivisible meeting in a town next door to where I was living at the time, involved, and then moved up here and kind of got into the Indivisible Sonoma County, but then met people from Swing Left, and they're like, yeah, you got to come over here. We're doing stuff. Because that's what I wanted to do something, They're like, yeah, well, you need to go over to Swing Left. So I canvassed with Swing Left in 2018, went out to Modesto and canvassed, even stayed overnight for Josh Harder, and phone banked, even for Beto O'Rourke during that time too, with other groups, and then of course picked back up again. And I just started getting on phone banks even before I slid back in with Karen and Maitri, right? So I was already kind of doing it, texting and phone banking. So
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, happy to jump into a team though. Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
So Tom, I'm really curious though. My main thing is for coming on today, not just to do the phone bank and support you guys, but I really want to work with Indivisible after the election, like to continue and keep going. Like I want to get
fantastic. Yeah, there's going to be a huge amount of work. And part of what we're going to talk about tonight, or I'm going to talk about tonight, is protecting the election and making sure that, we don't do all the work and then have it unravel on us or have things go. Normally you would never have to think about that, but obviously this time we do. So.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. Like my big thing right now is I would like to hold Biden accountable and Kamala accountable to expanding the court. Expanding the Supreme Court to 11 would be amazing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I really want to push, stuff like holding them to the liberal agenda that they said they were going to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see,
is that someone assistant or?
I've got somebody else who's just signed in with our account, which I guess can make it hard for me to do.
Hello.
Let's
Indivisible SoCo. Yeah.
Is that?
You think you can put him back into the waiting room if you want, or we can just.
Yeah, let me see. It looks like it might be Steve. Hey, Steve, is that you? Yeah.
I think you're muted.
You're on mute.
Still.
You're on mute.
We can't. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you're on mute, Steve.
There we go.
Hey, Steve, can you do me a favor and log in, not on the Indivisible Sonoma County account?
Not under which?
It looks like you're logged in as Indivisible SoCo.
No. I just did the click here to join meeting.
Yeah, but it's recognizing you as Indivisible SoCo, so I might need to sign out and sign back in.
Or maybe it doesn't recognize me. So.
Steve.
Well, it doesn't recognize. You need to sign out of Zoom and sign back into your personal account.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't have a personal account on this computer. That's the thing.
Oh. Okay.
So I could go to my iPad, but it's just a little bit more pain in the ass.
Well, you have the Zoom program on your computer? The Zoom program?
No, I just got this computer set up today.
Huh.
I'll go over to my iPad and we'll go do it differently.
Well, no, I
Okay.
mean, if
Yeah,
you're on
sorry.
the web, you can just sign out of the web. You go into zoom.com and just
Right.
sign out and log back in from zoom.com.
Right.
And you can just log out and log back in as your personal. All you need is your username, or you don't remember your username and your password. Is that it? Oh, that's
I didn't
it.
do any of that stuff before. Well, it's not that I don't remember. I never did it. I just was able just to click in because
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
cares? All right, I'll go to the method too.
No, it's
Okay.
fine. You don't have
Great.
to.
All right, we'll figure all that stuff out later.
How about this? How about this? The meeting starts at 6. You want to just log back out and log back in exactly as you are at 6 o'clock, and then we're all good. We're just having a little meeting
Okay.
before the meeting starts.
Yeah, I think it may also keep me from being able to run a poll, but
right.
Oh, right.
I can do
Oh,
that. I'll
really?
see y'all in a while.
oh no, it looks like I can still run it. Okay. Okay, doke.
I'll check back
Yeah,
with
come
you.
back in about 5 minutes,
Okay.
and you're good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Come on.
Okay, doke. So anything else that we need to cover? Basically what I'm going to do is run through my spiel for 15, 20 minutes and then make you host and turn it over to you.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. And you said we have about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I don't think I need a full hour, but we'll see. I'm going to go slower. I want
yeah.
to go really slow since they're all new and they're all
Okay.
doing postcards.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go slower. Now I want to just check in with you real quick. I do have one slide. I don't want to, I guess my fear is I'm going to insult somebody. So I don't want to be insulting. So I have one slide that says that phone banking is twice as effective as all the other tools. And I don't want to make people feel bad. So I'm thinking about taking that out.
No, I think I would use it. I mean, it's not like you don't believe that that's, it's not like you don't have the data to prove that that's true. I mean,
there is data showing that. I just don't know if I want to put in there. I don't want to. I don't want to invalidate them. All of those postcards. Like they're doing such great.
I don't think it would. I think if you want to soften the blow a little bit, you could just say, look, it's important to be doing everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it all helps. It all builds.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And we also have data that shows that it's also, phone banking is twice as effective. But I mean, canvassing is way more effective. So,
Yeah.
but we're not doing canvassing right now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? So
Exactly.
I'll talk about canvassing being the most important, right? But
Exactly.
we can't do canvassing. So
yeah. And I mean, in addition to that, we've got like 3 weeks now, and phone banking is, I mean, it's kind of the gold standard for being able to actually get people out to vote.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's where we are right now. As much as everything else has contributed right now, the name of the game is we've got to get people on the phone. So
yeah.
Okay. No, I think that's fine. Like, it's totally fine. Okie doke. We're like 2 minutes up, so I'm going to let people in just a moment. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
I think we're good. If you make us hosts, and are you both now, did you make both Francesca and Sherry co-hosts already?
I'm doing that right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect then. That's it.
Okay.
Ready to go. So it's okay if I turn my screen off on my computer
Yes.
while you're talking? You're fine
Yeah,
with that?
totally fine. We're just letting people in. Welcome to everybody who's just joining us. We are going to get started in a couple of minutes.
Hello.
Hey there, Kathy. Okay. just see. Okay, great. Welcome to everybody who has just joined us. We are going to get started in just a moment. And Maitri, do you think I could ask you to admit people from the waiting room? Let's see.
Yes, I can do that.
That would be great. Because otherwise I end up toggling back and forth and
Totally.
it can get a little wild. Okay. And we'll get going. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. My name is Tom Benton. I'm one of the advisory council members for Indivisible Sonoma County. And welcome and thanks so much for being here for our October general meeting. I'm going to walk us through a few slides for a few minutes, and then we have Maitri Joy, who is going to be teaching us about phone banking, which is the really heart of tonight's meeting. But before we begin that, I want to talk a little bit about where we are and a couple of the things that we can do to make sure that we deliver completely on our goals, which are to take back the White House, to flip the Senate, and to increase our majority in the House. All three of those things are going to be absolutely critical. And today's Judiciary hearing, committee hearing was just one other way of underscoring that. So how do we do that? What are we doing to make that happen? Well, the main thing that we're working on right now is getting out the vote. And basically, as the first slide showed you, we need not only a blue wave, we need a blue tsunami. And it's going to be absolutely critical that we get every available voter to show up and to cast their votes blue all the way down the ticket. The only problem with that is that in normal years, you could just turn people out to vote. And if you've got enough people voting, that would be it. And you would have done your job. But this year, we're looking not only at all the usual GOP kinds of voter intimidation, we also have both Trump and Pence refusing to commit to a peaceful transfer of power. And so it's a little more complicated this year, even as the stakes are insanely high. So let's talk a little bit about tonight's agenda and how we're going to win this thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about countering disinformation, which is one of the things that we've got to deal with over the next few weeks. I'm going to talk about defending our election, and in particular, a consortium effort or group effort from more than 100 organizations, Indivisible being one of them, to protect the results of the election, which this year is going to be absolutely critical. And then we're going to work on getting out the vote. And Maitri's going to teach us about phone banking, and we're going to make some calls. So first, let's talk about countering disinformation. Indivisible has put together, better late than never, I think, what they call Indivisible's Truth Brigade. And the purpose of this is it was formed to counter disinformation, working with professionals who are in that social media disinformation space, using best practices to try to counter all of the stuff that Russia and Trump and the GOP are throwing at us all the time. This means countering disinformation with the truth and using good practices when we're in social media and when we're talking with friends and family. We can do this through social media and through the conversations we have. And each of us can help amplify the truth and counter disinformation. And we're going to be asking you to do that over the course of the next few weeks. Here's an example of what they're doing. They run a new campaign twice each month. Campaigns are crafted to spread truth and through doing that to counter disinformation. This is an example of the current campaign, 5 tips for indivisibles to protect against false claims. And the campaign looks like this. You can help by liking and sharing it with your with your networks on social media, and by talking to your friends and your family about the same points. This particular campaign isn't countering one set of GOP lies. Instead, what it's doing is it's talking about good practices when dealing with information. And maybe this first point is the most important, which is, and this is a really good thing for all of us to try to remember, it's really important not to share or engage with lies. It's so tempting when you see something just outrageous from Trump or Mike Lee or whoever it might be, Mitch McConnell, to say, I hate that, and I'm going to tell everybody that I hate it, and I'm going to take the thing that they posted and I'm going to share it with my network and tell everybody just how bad it is. That's a really, really bad practice. What you want to do instead is, if you have to do something like that, screenshot it. We'll talk a little bit about what a truth sandwich looks like. But basically, don't pass that stuff on. Don't share it. Don't copy it. Don't send it to anybody. Because when you do, social media algorithms pick that up and they go, oh, there's a lot of attention around this thing. And Trump knows he can get a lot of attention by saying all kinds of crap. So don't pass that stuff on. When people see lies, they start to become familiar. And after a while, they kind of seem truthful to people. So the first and most important thing is just don't pass the lies on. Don't like them, don't share them, don't react to them. If there's a lie that is absolutely outrageous and needs to be countered, use this practice. George Lakoff talked to us actually a couple of years ago. And this is kind of a keystone of his practice, which is the truth sandwich technique. It's a way to report on dubious claims, deception, public lying, without giving it undue publicity, right? Which would help it spread. So here's what you do. You start with the truth. You tell the truth because the first frame gets the advantage. Then you indicate the lie. Ideally, avoid amplifying even the specific language that they're using. And then return to the truth. Always repeat truths more than lies. So the truth is, Trump was infected with COVID. And we still don't know reliably whether he's still infectious. It's entirely possible that he may be. He likes to run around claiming that he's actually immune and godlike, but that's hooey. It's completely false. The truth is, he was infected with COVID. He may even now be shedding virus. It's a risk to be around him. That's the truth. Don't adopt your enemy's framing. I'm just going to mention this because of what we're seeing today. It's been happening over the weekend. To quote Jay Rosen here, who's a media professor at NYU, or actually, sorry, this is from Josh Marshall at TPM. You don't want to use your opponent's framing for something. If you refer to what Democrats might do in the new year as court packing, all you're doing is using the GOP way of describing it, and it's not even accurate, right? Point of expanding the court, in addition to it being a good idea in general, is simply to get the court out of the business of overruling majority legislation for corrupt partisan purposes, which is a power they've acquired through a perversion and an abuse of the constitutional process. And the corrupter and the abuser, poster child in chief, is this guy, Mitch McConnell. So don't adopt your enemy's framing. When you see it framed that way, find a different way to frame it. If you don't know the right way to frame it, start looking around until you are able to come across that. So all of that, what we'd ask you to do, or ask from all of this, is to follow Indivisible's Truth Brigade, like those, share them, amplify the good stuff, amplify the truth, and use your social networks to counter disinformation, not by repeating it or saying it's bad, but by telling the truth instead, okay? That's the first thing. Let's counter disinformation over the course of the next 3 weeks and blunt that as much as we can. The second thing, and this is critical, is defending our election and protecting the results. Now, there is an organization, as I mentioned, Protect the Results, which is a consortium of over 100 organizations, including Indivisible. And the purpose is to make sure that the results from this election are not tampered with, they're protected, and all the hard work that we do to trim people out and to make this happen doesn't go down the tubes because of cheating and lying and all the kind of stuff that we know these guys are preparing to try to do. So Protect the Results took some lessons from a project that looked into how do we make sure that we have a transition that happens correctly, called the Transition Integrity Project. And there's some key lessons. I want to share them with you. The first is there's no more election night as a thing, right? And it's dangerous for us to act like there is. So if you've got people doing watch parties, you're having conversations with friends about this, You should not be setting the expectation that we will know who's won the election on the night of November 3rd, especially this year, because we've got so many people voting by mail, especially because of COVID. So it's really important to not set that expectation or to try to undo that expectation that somehow we're going to know who the winner is before we go to bed on November 3rd. It's highly unlikely. And setting that expectation actually plays into Trump's hands. Trump could contest into January. We should assume that he's going to use a variety of tactics to resist the transition of power, even with a clear Biden win. It's entirely possible. I mean, you've seen Trump over the last few weeks and over the last 3.5 years. It would be completely in character for him to be refusing to go along with the results of the election. Absolutely in character. We should expect it. And the third piece is really critical. We have to win the narrative. And the way that we win it is by showing up. What I mean by narrative is it is absolutely critical in the immediate aftermath of election day that if Trump is crossing red lines and messing around with the results of the election, trying to stop votes from being counted, trying to have votes thrown out, trying to take it to the Supreme Court to do what they did in 2000 and throw the election to him instead of counting votes, any of those moves or others, it's really critical that we show up and that we have a very, very strong public presence so that we can change the narrative on that. And those of you who remember back to 2000, remember the Brooks Brothers riot of GOP staffers who made a huge fuss and was one of the catalysts for stopping the vote counting and going to the Supreme Court. And we know how that turned out. So protect the results. We've got to win the narrative. How do we do that? If we enter a protect the results scenario, if Trump crosses one of the red lines and we're in the process, the protect the results group is in the process of determining what are those red lines and how will we know if he's crossed them. They will meet early on the morning of November 4th to see if any of that, if that messing around is going on. If we enter that scenario, our message is simple. We're going to demand that every vote be counted. So we're not stopping the counts. We're not trying to invalidate anything. Our message is every vote has to be counted. There are several key red lines that Trump could cross. Whichever happens, we will mobilize in our communities. There is currently a high likelihood that Trump will cross at least one red line. So what does that mean? It means it's very, very likely that we will have to mobilize on November 4th and going forward. So please be ready to mobilize as early as November 4th. Here's what the plan looks like at a high level, right? Phase one is a rapid response of red line protests. These would be initial actions if and when the red lines cross. And by initial, we mean on November 4th at 5 p.m. across the country. That first day, we need an overwhelming show of solidarity. Think massive rallies in public places, signs, chants, a lot of noise. It's critical that we are the story on November 4th, that Trump is not able to look like he's going to get away with this. The people of the United States will not take that crap sitting down. Phase two, that would kick in right away after that is a sustained protest. So during the first crucial week, that first week after the first red lines crossed, we would have sustained protest, and it will look different in different places and on different days. Might range from rallies to marches to honking waves or sit-ins, boycotts, and more, including some remote action. The goal here is to show we're not going away. It's not like we had one big thing and now we're going to go back to sleep and let Trump, do his mischief. That's not going to happen. We're on him, and he's not going to get away with it. The actual American public is speaking up. And finally, if we have to, we'll escalate. If he still refuses to step down, then we're going to need mass cooperation. And that means through nonviolent protest, our goal would be to make the country ungovernable. To basically say, you can't have our country if you're going to seize it by corrupt means. It's not yours to take. It's time for you to go. So how do we make this happen? The thing for you to do and for you to know is to go to protecttheresults.com look for find an event, sorry, it should be find an event near you, and enter your zip code, and you will find the Santa Rosa Rally, and you can sign up there. Tell your friends to do the same. We will probably set up rallies in other cities around the county as well. If you're willing to work with me on the rally team, please put your name in chat and let me know, and give me your email address and your cell phone number for that matter. And I'll reach out to you because I'm forming a team to make this happen. Protect the Results is doing trainings, so we will have an organizing team that's set up for this. And please be ready for sustained protests after November 3rd, even as we hope they won't be necessary. The last thing I want to say about this, and the Protect the Results folks have been really clear about this, one of the things that will make this successful is if we show up in huge numbers. It's going to make protests safer. It's going to make them more effective. It's going to change the narrative more. It's really critical that if we're called to do this, that we show up in overwhelming numbers so that it's a physical demonstration that Trump did not win the election. It's not over. People's votes must be counted, and we will not stand for anything else or anything less. And the way that I think about it is, if you think it's really important for you to cast a vote, then you should think it's equally important for you to defend your vote. Because what we really don't want to see is a huge amount of hard work that goes into getting so many people to turn out and to cast their votes, and then have those illegally taken away. We can't stand for that. It's absolutely critical. Having said that, the other thing that we can do is to get as close to this map as we possibly can. This is one person's idea of what kind of an amazing landslide for Joe Biden would look like. And what the heck, let's say we were going to get Kansas too, but or Alaska. But it's going to be really critical for us to do everything in our power in the next 3 weeks to get out the vote, because the bigger the totals that we run up, the harder it is for Trump to contest. The more it looks like, even on election night, if we can, the more it looks like Biden's ahead, the harder it is for Trump to pull his garbage. So it's really critical for us to turn out voters. It's really critical for us to win this in an enormous landslide. And it still will probably be critical for us. It certainly is critical for us to be prepared to defend that vote as well. So with that, I want to turn it over to Maitri, who is joining us tonight as our guest trainer. And the main thing that we can do to get out the vote right now is to reach out to voters and have conversations with them and make sure that they know how to vote, that they are going to follow through on that, and that we get them to the polls and make sure that they vote in a way where it's going to be counted. So Maitri, with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to you, and
Thank you so much.
Sharing my screen as well. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me. So I'm a phone banker, coordinator, trainer. I do about 6 phone banks a week, training, sometimes more. I've been to my 6th presidential campaign on working with Democrats, and I love what we do, trying to help our Democratic, people get into office. So I'm really excited to be here today. So I'm assuming all of you can, a bunch of you don't have your videos on. So I guess I'm not going to ask that question because a lot of you turned your videos on. So never mind, we'll do that later. So I'm just going to make an assumption that all of you are new to phone banking. I'm going to start with that premise, okay? So I have a video, I have all these slides we're going to be doing right now, and we'll just get into it. If for some reason you can't see my slide presentation, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know. Before I start, I do want to say one thing, is I grew up and lived in Los Angeles for many, many years. And some of us in LA speak really fast. So I want to just let you know that if I'm talking too fast, you have permission to unmute yourself and tell me to slow down, okay? Because it's really important for me to give you this information. Phone banking is critical right now. We're the last 3 weeks of the election. We need all of you on the phones doing this if you're wanting to do this. At the end of the training, I'm going to do a live demo for people if they want that. And we can dig into scripts. We can do whatever you want to make you feel comfortable getting on the phones. All right. And I'm even willing to do one-on-one training the next day, or several days later. I'm committed to making you successful in phone banking. All right. Because it's so important. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead now and hang on one second. Actually, nope, don't want to do that. Can everybody see this? Yes, you got it? Okay, excellent. All right, so we have a lot of people on today, so I'd like you to hold your questions until the end. I'm gonna have an extensive question and answer period. However, during the presentation, at some point, I may say to you, okay, I really wanna know if you understand this point. Please unmute yourself if you're confused or you have a question about that specific thing I'm talking about. Okay, so we don't get too bunched up. I wanna make sure you at least are following me and things are making sense to you and all of that. Okay. So this is our agenda for today. We're going to cover phone bank best practices. We're going to talk about why we phone bank. We're going to talk about the dialer, which is called Through Talk. It's a specific dialer that lets you actually turn your phone or your computer. We're going to be trained to turn your phone today, not the computer, into a dialer. So that your phone actually is just there. You don't actually touch it. You just set up the dialer and it does its thing. It just calls out to the universe and gets the phone calls to pop right into your earpiece, your earbud. And so all you do is say hello, and then it just goes. And so it's amazing. You get to talk to so many more people than it used to be, than just typing in the numbers and calling people. That's the old way of doing it. So this is an exciting time to be using this type of technology. Talk about scripts. We'll do some Through Talk troubleshooting at the end and do question and answers. And then if you guys are comfortable, some of you are comfortable, you can even make phone calls today. We have lists, state lists or lists to make phone calls in Nevada and Arizona. So if you want to try it out today, I recommend you try it out today. We're going to be here for you while you make those phone calls if you want to do it. So in case you have any questions, you can come back to the Zoom window and ask your question. And we're also going to do a live demo if you need that, and also get into other things too, if you want. Okay. So best practices. Being polite and professional is really important, obviously. We are the frontline workers of the Democratic Party. We are the ones talking to voters on the ground. So it's really important that we represent Kamala and Joe Biden professionally. So that means if you get a Trump supporter, which can happen, that's really nasty to you, being mean and nasty, it's best to just say, thank you so much, and just move on. Have a good day, and then move on. It doesn't happen that often, but every once in a while, it can happen. Also, make your script your own. The script is not written in your voice, right? So it's important to make your script your own. You don't have to read every word. We're not expecting you to do that. I'm going to give you some cheat sheets, tips and tricks for how to make your script easy for you. There's just a few themes that you need to cover so that it flows, and that as long as you're getting the main theme of the script, you're good. Okay. You don't have to go through every little bit of it. Okay. And I'll talk about what the main themes are. Now, this next one's really important because a lot of times when you're on the phone, especially now, we've been talking to voters for about, 3 months, really, 2 to 3 months. They're really burnt out. Some of these states are just like, oh my God, you've called me 50 times. It's okay. Be bold. Be unapologetically bold about what you're doing here. We're trying to get people to the polls. We're getting them to vote. You can just say, I'm so sorry you're getting so many phone calls. I'm sorry we're bothering you at dinner or you're in your car. I totally get it. But this election is more important than anything we've ever seen in our lifetime. Our democracy is on the line. Get them excited about voting. Get them to be passionate about what we're doing and turn them on as well about voting. Because this is really that. And we all believe that. And we need to pass that on to the voters. And I always tell them, I say, it's only 3 more weeks. I totally get it. I know it's annoying. I totally get it. If your plan is really great and you're ready to vote or you've already voted, then maybe just don't answer the phone for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Unfortunately, we can't take you off the list. We're not taking people off the list if they've already voted right now. So it's just one of those things. It just will come up and you just have to just be bold about it. Accurately mark the results of every conversation before moving on to your next call. And we'll talk about what that looks like. You're going to have a dialer on your browser. The right side is going to be the script. The left side is going to be the dialer. So it's important to make sure that you hit all the buttons on the right side accurately and also on the left. The right side is the script, and that goes to the Democratic Party. The left side is a dialer, and that helps you move on into your phone calls, okay? And I'm gonna totally show you the slides about what that is, so you'll get to see what I'm talking about in a minute. And look for opportunities to make positive connections. Okay, so why is phone banking so important? Well, it turns out that voter turnout increases by 3%. That could make or break this election right here. If Hillary had gotten an extra 3%, she would have actually won the election. She would have won the Electoral College. And that's what we can do this time. So it's really important that we phone bank. It's also twice as more effective than any other campaign tool. Now, especially in this election, because actually canvassing is the most effective tool that we have, right? But we're not canvassing in this election. We're only phone banking because of COVID-19. And we'll do a little canvassing, maybe in Nevada, maybe in Arizona, but for the most part, this is what we're doing. So it's really, really important that we get out to phone bank. It's critical for this election. Voter database also increases, and we clean the lists for get out the vote, which is going to be the last 2 weeks of the election. All right, so the main components of a script. There's only 3 main components you have to worry about, and you can put it in your own words. Introducing yourself and building rapport with the voter, identifying your support for Joe Biden and the down ballot ticket. And also the most important part, of course, is creating a plan. How are you going to vote? Are you going to vote in person? Are you going to vote by mail? Then you start digging into whatever they want to do. Do you want to do early voting? Let me give you these dates, you know, all that stuff. That is the most important. If you can get those 3 things done, you're good. The rest of it is extra icing on the cake, you know, asking them to volunteer, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's extra icing on the cake. But this is the most important nuts and bolts part of the script, okay? All right, so now we have hundreds of phone banks in Mobilize for the Biden campaign right now. And we have all of these different groups that are like plugged in to the Biden campaign, like Indivisible, for example, or Swing Left, or, you know, there's just a ton of different groups, right? And they're all plugged into the Biden campaign, and we're all on Zoom doing these phone banks, right? You can also do them on your own if you don't want to be in a Zoom phone bank. But if you are in a Zoom phone bank, we like to stay up and on with you the entire time, so we can help you if you have questions while you're talking to voters on the phone. So in order to do that, we have to mute ourselves so you don't hear us and we don't hear you, okay? So the way to do that on a computer is you go down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little mute button, and there's a little caret right here. It's a little upward arrow. You just click on that, and this dialog box pops up, and you just click Leave Computer Audio. Then we can't hear you. And then at the end, if you want to come back, usually at my phone banks, for example, at like 15 minutes till the end of the phone bank, if it goes till 4, I say come back at 3:45, so you can share us your stories. You can share how it went for you, and you build communities. I love doing that. So then you come back. If you don't have any questions during the phone bank, you come back at that time, click Join Audio, and then click Join Computer with Computer Audio. Okay. You can also come back and keep the leave audio if you have a question, and just type your question in the chat box in the Zoom window. That also works as well. But this is how you definitely leave audio. If you just click the mute button and don't do the leave audio, what can happen is you can be in the middle of a phone call, and by accident, your mute button turns back on, and then we can hear you. And it can be kind of distracting for you and for us and all that. So that's why it's better to do leave audio. All right, so I'd like you to unmute yourself right now. If anybody is going to be using their iPad for making phone calls, using ThruTalk, unmute yourself, please, and let me know. So is anybody doing that? Nope. All right, no iPads? Okay, excellent. iPad you can use ThruTalk on the iPad, but it's more challenging. It's more techie challenged. So I don't need to cover that, so I'm going to skip that. All right. So what is ThruTalk? ThruTalk is a dialing system that we use to quickly reach voters. We can reach 10 times the amount of voters than we used to be able to do than by just typing in the numbers and calling every single voter. It actually goes out into the universe and kicks out all disconnected numbers, 90% of the messages, you know, leave me messages, a lot of the wrong numbers. It's a pretty amazing system, okay? So we're gonna be turning our phone, our landline or our cell phone into a dialer. And that's beautiful because that means they're not going to be seeing our phone number. A party provided phone number will be given to them. So it's going to be a local number for that state. So that's awesome. The old days, when I was like, you know, typing in every single number throughout the week when I wasn't even phone banking, I'd be like, people would be calling me all week long going, why did you call me? Why did you call? You know, those days are gone. You know, Trump supporters would be yelling at me on the phone throughout the week. That was really annoying. Well, in that case, it wasn't Trump supporters. It was just a Republican, whoever the Republicans were in previous elections. So that doesn't happen anymore, right? So now we just have this. So it's a lot easier. Okay.
Excuse me, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I just got my microphone on. I do have an iPad.
You do? Okay, that's great. So hang on for a second. I'm going to go back. All right, here we go. So are you on Zoom with your iPad right now? You using Zoom with your iPad?
Yeah, for this meeting, right?
Okay. Yeah, this is the meeting. Right, perfect. All right, so you're going to go your upper right-hand corner of your Zoom meeting. You're going to see a More button. When you want to leave audio, you're going to click on that, and you're going to get this dialog box. You're going to go to the bottom and say disconnect audio.
Wait. Right now, all I have is a black screen with with 4 little screens at the bottom, one of which is me, although my camera isn't on.
Yeah, so why don't we do this? Why don't we wait till the end? And what we'll do is we'll pair you with somebody to help you, okay?
Oh, great. Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you for your question. Really appreciate it.
Okay, and how do I get to your presentation instead of?
You can't see us right now?
No.
That is kind of, I'm not sure why you can't see us. I'm not sure why you can't see us.
Switch
you
to
should be able to see us, the presentation.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Because I can't see your screens. I don't know what you're looking at. So yeah, you got it. Okay. So can you please mute yourself again? That would be awesome until the end. And we're holding questions till the end, unless I say unmute yourself and ask that specific question. Okay. But thank you for letting me know what you're using an iPad, because I really wanted to know that.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So where were we? Let's go. Oh, Through Talk. Sorry. Let's go back here. All right. So the downside of Through Talk is it only lets you use 2 browsers, which has really been a headache. I can tell you that more than I can possibly tell you. That's been the #1 headache, because a lot of people don't use Chrome and Firefox. They use Safari or Internet Explorer, but that's not what we got. We got Chrome and Firefox. Of the 2, Firefox is better because it's more stable, less dropped calls. So if you don't have Firefox today, that's fine. And you have Chrome, no worries. You can use Chrome. I recommend you download Firefox this week and get it on your computer, because it's definitely a lot better. So the only issue with that is if you're clicking on a Through Talk link in your, let's say someone sends you a Through Talk link for a state like Texas, and you click it, it's not going to go to Firefox unless it's your default browser. It'll instantly go to Safari or Internet Explorer. So what I suggest you do is, just for the next 3 weeks, make whatever browser you're going to be using for your phone banking, if you're going to do a lot of phone banking, as your default browser. It just makes your life so much easier. If you don't want to do that, I can tell you quick, some quick tricks you can do, so you don't have to, so it's not as frustrating. But that would be the fastest way to deal with that.
Question, please. How do you make it your default?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that at the end. So please hold your questions till the end. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So we'll talk about how to make your Firefox and Chrome your default browser. Definitely we'll give you that information. But thank you for your question. I appreciate it. Recommending we're going to be training on cell phone or landline for using your turning it into a dialer, and we recommend you use your headphones for clearest audio sound. Okay. So now I'm gonna go. This is a sample browser. This is Firefox. Okay, so I want you guys to unmute yourself if you don't know what a browser is. I just got a text, somebody was wanting to know. So I'm assuming everybody knows what a browser is. So unmute yourself if you don't know what a browser is. Okay, good. Wait for a second. Okay, good. All right, so this is the Firefox browser. Now this is an optional thing you can do. The way that I set up my phone banking experience is I have tabs. Now, what is a tab? Inside your browser, this is an individual tab. This is one tab. This is a second tab. These are individual websites that are up. You can have multiple websites up in your browser at the same time, which is amazing, right? So I have multiple websites up for my phone banking. I've got 3 of them up right now. The first one's Through Talk. I'm going to cover what the next 2 are in a minute. And then I have a miscellaneous tab, just a blank tab open for whatever comes up when I'm with a voter on the phone. And I'm going to go through different options that'll come up in this Through Talk training, okay? So how do you deal with tabs? Well, when you first open up Firefox, the first tab is automatic. It just comes up, okay? So that's gonna be this. And then you're gonna click the link. If it's your default browser, it'll pop up right into your screen on here. If it's not your default browser, you're gonna select it, copy it, and then paste it into the address bar. That's the first link. Then you have these one, then you're gonna be putting in these addresses, opening up new tabs. How do you open up a new tab? It's same for Chrome. You come over here, you hit this plus button here, and it gives you a new tab. This X button on each one of these closes the tab, okay? So this is optional, but I'm telling you, if you've used these websites with the Through Talk dialer, your life will be so much easier because all you have to do is go back and forth between these different tabs as people ask you questions about what they need in their state that may not be on the script, okay? So that's that. Again, it is optional, but I do recommend it highly. So what are these two websites? First one is just Google. The first one's gonna be going to Google and you're gonna type in the search box, how to vote in whatever state you're working on. In this state's gonna be, we're working with Florida. Usually I just put Florida as a generic example, okay? So how to vote Florida. So then what you get is this really great cheat sheet. All the registration deadlines, absentee ballot, keys, I mean, everything you need to know, right? Register a vote button, check registration status, it's amazing. So that's the second tab. Right, well, that's tab, well, that would be tab 1 after the Through Talk tab. Okay, so the second one, oh, this is out of order. What's going on here? I'm sorry about that. Okay, here's tab 2. So Through Talk dialer is tab 2. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the third tab. The third tab will be the voter registration, vote by mail, poll location. So this is iwillvote.com. Okay, iwillvote.com. Now this is a website that you can actually sign somebody up to vote or sign somebody up to vote by mail or check their polling location. This is an excellent site to go to. All the states are listed. You just change the state and then you're good to go for that state. Okay. So I'm going to go back now because I did a cheat sheet. I pulled out this cheat sheet. So here's Google cheat sheet. I pulled out the Florida election deadlines just to give you a sense of what they look like. Okay. Now the sad part about Florida is that it's a high voter suppression state. Why do I say that? Well, look at the first thing right now. The first top voter registration deadline. October 5th was the deadline for registering to vote. So that, and actually it crashed, the website crashed, right, on the 5th. So they extended it for one more day, okay? So now if you call somebody tomorrow or the next day and say, hi, and they say, oh, I'd like to register to vote. They can't register to vote. It's done. So this is why it's so important we elect Democrats, because we need to change this. Only 22 states right now allow voter registration and voting on election day at the same time. So this is a huge deal. So we need to fix this. Okay. So this is why one of the main reasons why Joe Biden, it's so important to vote for Joe Biden. All right. So this just gives you an example of the early voting period dates. Locations will be different. I just told them to be mailed to them. Requested mail-in ballot deadlines received by October 24th. So these are just those things: received, returned by mail, received by 7 p.m., not postmarked, received by 7 p.m. I usually tell people when they're getting things in the ballot, the moment they get the ballot, they need to send it in immediately. Don't sit on it, don't wait. If they have any questions about it, I'll answer questions today, but please, I encourage them to get it out immediately because it's super important. All right, so that's just an example. Every state will have their own little deadlines on the Google cheat sheet, okay? So let's go back here. Okay, so logging in to Through Talk. Here's the dialer, this is a link, what it looks like. This happens to be Pennsylvania. So you just click on that. And then once you click on that, you're gonna get this, but this is the Florida link. So then we got the Florida one. So this one, it looks the same no matter what state you're in. It could be Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas. It looks the same. It might say the state name on here, or it might be blank. It might not say anything. It just say 2020 victory. They're all different. There's like 17 or 20 different states that we're working with right now. So you just fill your information in. You have to do it every single time when you click that link. Fill your information in and click get your login. Now all of this I'm telling you about is just to get into the dialer so you can start making calls, okay? So then this shows up, live box. You're gonna get your passcode, your login information, and your passcode. This is what you put the passcode login information in. If you type it in or you click and drag, there's a lot of errors that come up. So I recommend you do it the way that I'm gonna show you now. You double click on the login and you hold your keyboard down and click Control if you're on a PC and C on the keyboard. Control C to copy it, and you put it inside, you click inside here and do Control V for, as in Victor, for paste. Okay, on a Mac it's Command C or Command V. Do the same thing for the passcode. That way you don't get any error messages, there's no errors, you get it correct and it just goes through seamlessly. All right, so once you're done with that, then you go ahead and click Next. And then you get this screen up here, this left-hand box here. This is the next window, okay? The thing you need to know here is a couple things you need to know before you move on. So this is a point where you really need to pay attention right now because people pass over this very quickly and then they forget this part. Okay, did somebody, can somebody, I think somebody might have, oh, here, I'll admit them. Whoops, somebody admit them, all right. Whoops, went too fast. Yeah, can somebody admit them for me, please? Thank you. All right, so service. Service actually means list. There's a ton of different lists for every state. There's lots of different lists for every state, right? Some states, they won't put up all the lists, they'll just give you one list. If it doesn't have a list listed here, it says please select list, you have to click the down arrow here and choose the list you want. If you're doing it by yourself and you're not in a Zoom window, because you can do that, you can do it by yourself if you have the link, just choose the main top list that tends to be the generic list for the entire state, okay? And then once you do that, this box, the using computer audio checkbox will pop up, okay? It won't be here if this list is not selected. That's important to know. This will always be checked. You want to uncheck it. If you check it, it's going to use your computer as your audio, and there's a lot more dropped calls, bad connections, crashes. So we don't recommend it. We recommend use your phone as your audio, your dialer, not the computer. So you uncheck this and then click sign on. And then in order to use your phone, you need your phone number. So then you click sign in and then you get your phone number. And here's your phone number. Take your phone, you put this is the dialer phone number, so you can log into the dialer and so you can start getting calls. So you take your phone number, put it on, you listen for the code, it says, please put your code in. Then you put your code in and hit pound. And then it should go to this. If everything is working correctly, this is what you'll get then. It's logged into the dialer. You'll hopefully have your headset already plugged in. You can put your phone down now, have your earbuds in your earbuds, and then you're just waiting for a call. It's going out into the universe to see what calls can come in through your system. Okay? This stuff is really not really accurate. This doesn't act. If you stay on the phone for more than 5 minutes, this goes back to 0. This is not accurate. This can be actually, you can actually watch this. This is pretty accurate, but these two are definitely not. So don't even worry about it. If you want to track your calls, you're going to have to write them down. Okay, however, so we're going to cover, yeah, I don't think I'll do it now. We have a troubleshooting section because there can be times when it can be difficult. There'll be some things that happen when you're trying to log in. So at the end, we're going to do a troubleshooting. So at the end, I'm definitely going to have you take a picture of that slide because it's going to be an important slide to keep handy to refer back to, okay? So we're going to assume that everything's great. It's working the way it's supposed to. We're in the dialer now. It's all good. This is what you see. And then you hear a beep. The moment you hear that beep, they've already said hello. Okay, so it's important to go, hello, 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 is Judy there? And ask who they are. Because what happens is the moment you say hello, it brings you back, it brings you to the script. The right side is the script, the left side is the dialer. The dialer is going to have the person's name. Okay, so usually when I'm over here and I can't see it, I'm like, hello, hello, and then it goes to the script and I can say, hi, is Judy there? Now notice how I've circled this. I think this is a better way to go, much less dropped calls, much less issues, okay? If you start here, hi, my name is, they think you're a taped message or a robocall, whatever, a robo message, whatever. They'll hang up on you. If you say hello, hello, and you wait for the thing to pop up, oh, hi, is Judy there? They're like, oh, I have to answer. This person's talking to me. Yeah, this is Judy. Hi, Judy. And then you go into the top part of the script. Hi, my name is, I use Joy because Joy is an easier name to pronounce and they can understand it better. Hi, my name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden. And I don't stop. I just go right into just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden immediately. And then I pause. Stop, wait to see what their answer is, okay? Because you want to get that out as fast as possible because you only have about 3 seconds to get it out before they hang up on you. I'm telling you, it's fast. But they usually they respond, whether it's a Trump supporter or they're undecided or they've already voted, they'll tell you, they usually tell you what's going on. And at that point, you can start working with the script, and here are the different buttons of the script. Now that's a perfect world. However, sometimes when you're back on that screen, you're saying, hello, hello, this will come up, but only the right side comes up first. The left side hasn't come up yet. So at that point, you're gonna have to go back into the regular part of script and say, hello, hello, hi, my name is Joy, I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. The moment you get that party out, the name will pop up, and you can say, oh, hi, is Judy there? Is this Judy? And then they'll say, yeah, this is Judy. Great, thank you. I'm just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden. And then they'll answer the question, okay? So, but it doesn't happen, it happens once in a while. It doesn't happen too often, actually. Most times, both will come up at the same time. And now they're trying to fix that issue, and they've actually put the names inside the script as well. So half of the scripts have the names actually now in the script itself. So it's not really an issue anymore. But who knows? The scripts are constantly changing. So I just want to let you know that as one of the issues. All right, let's go through some of these buttons. We've got all of these buttons here. You can actually move around between these buttons. You can go up and down through the script, in and out. It doesn't matter. You're not locked into any particular section of the script, but each button as you press gives you a different section of the script. So you have to move through the script to get to the different sections, okay? So is Judy there? And she says, yeah, this is Judy. So then that's talk to the correct person, okay? These are the other ones that are here. So it's talking to the correct person, not home, wrong number, disconnected. So talking to the correct person, pretty straightforward, However, there are times when there's like someone says, hi, is Judy there? And they're like, no, Judy's not home right now. This is her husband. May I take a message? Oh, sure. Well, my name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking if all of you, the whole family is working for Joe Biden. Oh yeah, of course we love Joe. Okay, so if they say we love Joe, then I'm gonna go ahead and say talk to the correct person. I'm just not gonna worry about it. It's just easier, simple, and then I can go through the script, okay? Not home is pretty self-explanatory. Any messages, sometimes if it's a hang up too quickly, I'll say not home, I'll just do that. If I don't even hear them at all, I'll say not home. Wrong number. Do not do wrong number unless it's absolutely 100% sure it's a wrong number, because it will be taken off the list. We want them to stay on the list as much as possible. Okay, if they're going to say to you, please take me off your list. You just have to say, I will do my best to take you off the list. And you can say, refused or whatever, but do not say wrong number. Okay, because you don't want them taken off the list. I'm so sorry, do my best, but it's only 3 weeks left. We really can't do that right now. Eventually, if you voted, we will be taking you off the list, but it's not happening right now. You can say that at least. At some point, they will do that, but probably not till the last week of the election, okay? So disconnected doesn't happen anymore. I've never gotten a disconnected number, which is awesome, because the system just takes all that out. There's also moved, refused, and deceased. Now, refused and not home is pretty much the same level. I put refused for if they're really nasty to you, me, and they're like Trump supporter and they're really mean, I'll maybe put refused. Or if they're older and they're just like, I don't give out information about who I'm voting for. It's very private and I don't want to share that information, then you can do refused. Deceased is self-explanatory. What I want to cover now is moved. Moved is interesting. Somebody calls, hi, is Sarah there? Yeah, this is Sarah. Hi, Sarah, just checking if you're voting for Joe. Sure, I'm voting for Joe, but I don't live in this state. I live in Texas. Oh, okay. Great, awesome. So now while you're talking to that person, you're in that fourth tab I told you about, that miscellaneous to blank tab, and then you go to Google and you're typing in how to vote Texas in Google, and then boom, all the deadlines, everything comes up in Google. And you just go through the script as if that person is just go, okay, so are you voting in person? You voting by mail? Oh, I'm gonna vote in person. Okay, well, get a piece of paper and pencil out. I wanna give you your early voting dates. And you're in Texas looking at the early voting dates. You just give them to them, okay? So that's how you can do Texas if they've moved. However, when you go back to the script, you need to go back up to the top of the script and choose moved, right? Because you want it to be accurate for the Democratic Party. So you go back up to the script, choose moved. It takes you to the end of the script, and it might actually have a blank space now. They even added little text boxes for you to tell them where they've moved to, maybe. I think they can do that now. Some of them do that, some don't. But if that doesn't, you can just put that in and then move on. So that's how that handy fourth tab can be helpful, all right? Okay, that's that. So I want you to unmute now for somebody who doesn't understand what I just said. Did you guys get that? Make sure that's something I want to make sure you understood about the moved thing. Because you can move back and forth between the scripts, in the buttons and everything. Okay, we're good? We're good. All right, excellent. Okay, undecided voters, my favorite button. I love the undecided. So that's where you can make the greatest difference, right? So right now, we don't get a whole lot of them anymore because pretty much everybody knows what they're doing right now. It's really, really low levels of undecided voters, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's where we're at. So, but it does happen. I had like 2 of them in one day, actually, which is kind of shocking. So the good thing about the script is that they have all these cool buttons. So I say, oh, well, what's the most important issue for you in this election? The economy, the job, it'll tell you. And you just click the button and a little blurb comes up. It's awesome. You can read it, and just do it. That's the positive side of it. The downside is it's kind of shallow and not very deep. It doesn't give you a lot of information. It's just really short, right? So if I really want to persuade somebody to move towards Joe Biden and the Democrats, I'm going to have to do something else. So this is what I teach. Okay, so as they're talking, I'm going to that 4th tab again, that miscellaneous tab, and I'm going here to Google and typing in Joe Biden's vision, 3 words. And I'm clicking on this first link here. The first time you click that link, it's going to give you a bunch of boxes saying, give me money. Just X out of the boxes. There's one on the right, one on the left, just X out of them. And then you come to this website, Bold Ideas. It's his website, Joe's website. And all these cool buttons. It goes all the way down the page. Buttons of all the issues that he's going to be dealing with. I'm telling you, help us if he wins this election. I should say when he wins this election. So, for example, I had a millennial I was talking to, and she's like, I cannot relate to these old guys. Oh my God, they're both the same. What's the difference? They're all old. They have nothing to do with me. Why do I even bother voting? She was really just frustrated by the whole thing. And I said to her, I totally get it. You can't relate to them. I understand your pain. I totally understand. However, there's got to be something you care about. There's got to be an issue that's important to you. And she sat there, she thought, on the phone, she was thinking about it. And she goes, you know what? I'm devastated by George Floyd's death. What is Joe going to do for us around racial equality? Let's go. And I said, let's go find out. So I went to the site. I dug into this website. I clicked on this button and I read all the stuff in there. We had like a 15-minute conversation. And by the time we were done, oh my gosh, she was blown away. She was going to vote for Joe. So this website's excellent. I use it a lot. I recommend you do that. You can actually keep it up if you want the entire time and use the 5th tab, if you want. But I use this all the time to get people to sway them in the direction that, in favor of the Democrats. All right, so now the other issue is what the person said, oh, I really would love to talk to you. I'm an undecided voter, but I'm in my car or I'm cooking dinner right now. Then I said to them, okay, all right, can you do me this one favor? And they're like, what's the favor? I'm like, well, what do you mean? What's the favor? I want you tomorrow or later this evening, go onto Google, type in these 3 words, Joe Biden's vision, click on the first link, X out of the boxes that say, give me money, and go to the site that says Bold Ideas and click on the issues that mean something to you. I guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to want to vote for Joe Biden. And I say, and ask him to buy into that. I say, will you be willing to do this for me? And nobody's ever said no. They're like, yeah, okay. And they get kind of excited about it. They're like, yeah, no, I'll totally do that. That's great. Thank you for telling me. They get kind of jazzed about it. So we may be able to move the needle there a little bit. So that's just an option. Whether they do it or not, I don't know, but I'm hopeful. Okay. Strong Biden support, which is what we're hoping for, right? So you click on that. A couple things to know. At that point, the script may say it. Now the scripts are changing because it's moving towards Get Out the Vote campaign. So they may not have this information in there, but I still think it's important to say it, even if it's not in the script, okay? Because you really want to tell people, we're encouraging people to vote down ballot races, Democratic. Please, please do that, okay? We're encouraging them to do that. So remind them to do that, because sometimes they're just so focused on the president, they forget about the down ballot races and get their buy-in on that, okay? And sometimes they'll have the ballot races in there and you can read about it in the script, but now we're moving into Get Out the Vote, so they may not be in there. The last thing you do is they'll also, if it's a strong Biden supporter, the script may ask you if they want to volunteer. And that's also important. If they're really super strong, now if they're not a really strong Biden supporter, I'm not going to ask them to volunteer. If I know they're not going to say yes, I can kind of tell. After a while, when you're on the phones for a while, you know who's going to say yes and who's not really that going to say it. If they're older, you can tell they're elderly. They're not going to say yes. I would just say no and move on. But if you're not sure, you think they might say yes, I would ask them. And if they say yes, it's awesome, because mobilize the Biden action center where you sign up for shifts is now built into the script. It just gets pulled in, and you can type their name in and their information in, and actually live sign them up for shifts in real time. And once you hit the enter key, they'll immediately get a text message saying they got their shift. It's phenomenal. It's working pretty well. It will give you an error message, but don't worry about it. Their text message will come pretty much immediately. So you can actually do that for them if they want that. If they don't want to be signed up, you can tell them to go to joebiden.com and go to their action center and do it themselves. They can do that as well. Okay, strong Trump supporter. Obviously, that takes you to the end of the script. Now, if they're a lean Trump supporter over here, you know, that's up to you if you want to do persuasion. This late day, it's hard to know I can't imagine they actually change their mind. Maybe you can try it. If you feel comfortable and confident in doing that, I would go for it. Just know that if you're going to get into persuasion here, you're going to get a lot more nasty things said about you if you go down that road. So you need to have thick skin, but you know, you can try it. I do it every once in a while when I'm feeling, you know, if I'm feeling the mood to do it. All right, so then you get this. This is the end of the script on the right side of the actual script, okay? This 1 minute thing, it means it's not gonna kick you out of the dialer, but it may lose the work that you put in for this call. So that's something you have to be paying attention to. So I actually go back up the script. If I'm actually having a long conversation with somebody, I make sure I don't stay in this section on the script. I go back up just to make sure that they don't take me out, okay? And then I only come here at the end of the script when I'm ready to move on in the call, okay? So that's the right side of the script of the dialer. The left side is the dialer itself, okay? This is the part where you're gonna need to double click to move on into the next call. And you have 3 options: talk to the correct person, no contact, and then remove number. Okay, so that's what these look like, okay? That's pretty self-explanatory. Everything else other than talk to the correct person is next call, no contact on the left side, or remove number. Again, you're not doing remove number unless you're absolutely sure it's a remove number. It's very, very important, okay? Now, there is an issue here. It's gonna come up on the demo, the live demo. I will live demo this and it will come up because it comes up almost every other time. Down here, you see all 3 buttons here. A lot of times you'll only see 1 button and it won't be the one you wanna click on, which is really annoying. It's a glitch. But at the bottom, it'll say here, instead of term codes, it'll say recent codes, okay? And it'll just have the last one that you chose. It'll say talk to the correct person. And then below here, it'll say term codes and then a little extra arrow. Click the down arrow, the term codes will come back up and it will look like this, okay? So that's that. And I will be demoing that so you'll be able to see that today. Okay. So this is, once you double click on one of these options, this box comes up. This is the box that lets you know, okay, I'm going to either choose ready and go back into the dialer and get the next call, or I'm going to choose not ready. Not ready serves 2 purposes. 1, to take a break, okay? They give you a 3-minute break, not a lot of break, 3 minutes, and they'll kick you out of the dialer after 3 minutes. So you need to make sure you set your timer on that so you don't get kicked out of the dialer. That's the first reason to do not ready. The second for not ready is when you want to end your session for the day. You want to do not ready so it saves that call, and then once you do not ready, then you can close out on your phone or you can close out on the browser, on the tab, and just exit out of the tab. Okay, so that's how you do that. Okay, and then when you do ready, you get right back here. Now, if you're in not ready and you're taking a break and you want to come back to the dialer, start making calls again, you need to go to the upper right corner right here, or I'm sorry, left corner, and it says ready right there. Right now it says ready, but you click the button down there, it'll say not ready. So you can go back and forth between not ready and ready from right here, okay? All right, so that is the dialer. So now we're gonna talk about troubleshooting. Okay, there's things that happen that I've seen, a lot of errors that occur that people have done over the times, and so I did a little cheat sheet here for that, okay? So the Through Talk dialer, so you're in Through Talk, you've gotten through the point where you put your information in, you hit enter, and then you put your passcode in, and it says agent not found. Okay, what that actually really means is you didn't put the password in correctly, okay? So it'll ask you to, it'll say agent not found, and you keep trying to do it again and again. The problem is, and it keeps saying agent not found. The problem is that it's cached at that point. If it doesn't let you in the 2nd or 3rd time, it means it's cached. So you have to close your browser down, all the way down, and open it back up again, okay? So get it uncached so that you don't get that message. And then you go ahead and do your username and your passcode again, and it should let you onto the browser. Okay, that's the first one. The TrueTalk dialer has a busy signal on a dialer in a browser and not connecting. So that's right here. So let's say there's no phone number here, right? You've already called, right? And this has disappeared, and now it's stuck here. It's still stuck here. It still has this green button and this red button here, and it says, please click to connect. And you click it, and it just goes like this. It's like this busy signal looping. Ooh, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Well, what's actually going on is that up here, it's trying to connect, but it's saying not ready. So what you have to do is just come up here and click ready, and it'll pop you right into here, okay? So that's how you solve that problem. Okay, what's the next issue? No phone number shows up to enter into the phone. So let's say, let's go back here. So let's say you're here, but there's no phone number. There's only this thing here. And it has this weird voice saying, connecting to audio. What happened is you forgot to uncheck the computer audio. And now it's trying to connect with your computer, okay? You can try it that way and see how it works. It may work for you, or you have to close everything out and then just log back in and start over again to get the call number, to get the phone number, okay? So that's that issue. Some people can use the audio, but most people can't. So that's why we don't teach it. You know, it's just too glitchy. But every once in a while, it does work. All right. These two things, the last two are the same solve. Waiting for more than 5 minutes between calls. That could be a number of issues. Don't wait for more than 5 minutes. I'm sure people go, I'm on the phone for 15 minutes. Don't do it. 5 minutes, you're done. Get off. Close out, log back in. It's glitchy. There's too many people on. The dialer is changed states, whatever, something. They've changed lists. Something has happened, you know, on the back end. Just log out, log back in. That fixes 95% of the problems. Okay. Same with the glitching. That solves both problems. Just getting out and getting back on. And sometimes it's best to actually not just close out the tab and open up a new tab, but actually close the browser out and open up the browser because it clears up stuff. It can clear up the cache issues and all that, okay? So those are just a few of the troubleshooting issues that come up. You may want to take a picture of this with your phone so you have it as your little cheat sheet. In case things come up, you can refer back to this. And if you actually, you know, want to, I can actually, I didn't put the answers on here. So what I may do is send you guys an email to Tom, and Tom can email you guys with the answers to these questions. I'll make a little cheat sheet for you guys so that, yeah, that'll be helpful. Okay, so now I think we are done for this portion. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down and close this out. And now we're going to have the question and answer period. And then we're going to move to live demo. So please, if you want to ask a question, I'm going to need to look at you. So please turn your video on for the question and answer period. Raise your hand in your video if you want to ask a question, and Sherry and Francesca are going to help me stay on track with who's raising their hand. So just go like this, raise your hand like I'm doing like this, you know, and unmute yourself. I'm going to call on you, okay? Because I can see your names. So who has a question? Anybody? Or are you guys all so savvy and ready to go? You have to unmute yourself if you're going to ask a question too. So no questions? Okay, here we go. Hi. Okay, great. Kate? Yes.
And Stephen, was that you also? I think Stephen.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're next, okay? Great, so
Okay.
Kate, go first. Thank you,
Okay.
Sherry.
Yes, you do talk very rapidly.
Well, I asked you to slow, why? You should ask me to slow down, girl. Why did you ask me to slow down?
Because I know from experience, asking people to slow down.
I
when they're
tried. You should have said slow down. That's why I said that. What part do you need help with?
Okay. I think I would like to go through the whole thing again because to tell you the truth, there were.
Well, you're actually in luck because every single phone bank that we have, that I do, we go through it. So you can just come to the next one and we'll do it again. So you can do as many times as you need to until you get it right.
Well, you are going to demo it too, Maitri, right?
Yes, I am going to demo it
So
live.
stay on Kate, and she's going to demo it.
Yes, I'm
Okay, maybe that will help because
Yes.
you went through it so quickly that it was very hard to follow.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect, so you have to, all of you understand, there is no way you're gonna know how to do this until you actually do it. Because it's just not gonna seem like, it's gonna seem very strange, but it's a step-by-step process. But when you see it, you're like, oh, this is this part. oh, okay, this is this part. I mean, it makes so much more sense when you're actually doing it. And you're going to be watching me do it too. So then that'll help you see the step-by-step part.
Okay.
But next time if somebody says slow, gives you permission to slow them down, please take them up on it, okay? Because I really want you to get this stuff.
My experience is people who speak very rapidly, you say, please slow down. They slow down for a minute or two, and then they get right back into their usual.
Right, and you're totally right, but I actually am very conscious of it, so I won't do that. I promise. I promise.
You promise, okay.
Okay, so Stephen had a question next.
All right, so Steve,
Yes.
your turn. Go for it.
Yeah. My question is, so I'm right now on this Zoom call with my iPhone, and I'm just wondering, what is the best platform for us to be using for Through Talk? Should we be using like at least a laptop, and we use our cell phone?
Yeah,
or is
correct.
it on?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you've been assuming. It's going through our cell phone, but we could actually be using our laptop big screen to be using it well.
Well, the way it works is like right now you're on Zoom with the phone, correct? You're using the
Yeah.
phone? Yeah. So you would basically download the Zoom app on your computer, and you would access Zoom from your computer, and then you would use your browser on your computer as well, and then turn your phone into your dialer. That's the best practices.
Okay, so just by putting in my phone's phone number, it turns into dialer. I don't actually use my phone.
You don't use your phone; it's just sitting. But you can't use Zoom and the dialer at the same time. You have to move Zoom onto your computer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You don't use it at all. It just sits there, and it just but the audio is coming into your if you're using your headset, it just comes into your ears. So it's great. And it's great sound and great, excellent sound quality that way too. So it's great.
Okay.
So excellent. Anything else? Is that you're good otherwise? Excellent. Thank you. All right. Okay. So
Larry and then Lisa, did you also have a question? Lisa Mott. Okay. So Larry, why don't you go next and then Lisa.
Thank you, Sherry, for doing that for me. I appreciate it. Okay. Yes, Larry.
I'm one of the really odd ducks that only has a line.
A what line? A landline?
Yeah, so I'd be wanting to use my computer for the whole process.
Or you can use your landline. You just put the phone number into your landline and you can use your landline. You don't have to use the computer. You just hold
My
your
landline sucks.
Your landline, oh, it's terrible. All right, well, what I would suggest is try it and see. Most of the time, I would say like 60% of the time, the computer doesn't. Is your computer really old? It has to be pretty new and state of the art. Otherwise.
It's new.
It's new? Okay, then maybe it'll work. That would be great. Try it. I would definitely use Firefox though to make sure, try Firefox first.
Yeah, sure. I have Firefox. That's my default browser.
Well, you're really savvy. You're just like the cool dude. That's cool. So yeah, okay,
and
go.
See, I had a second question, but you've distracted me. So
I'm sorry. We'll come back if you have
no problem.
Okay, so
and it was Lisa.
Lisa,
we're ready for you. Okay, there you are.
Okay, yeah. So just two quick questions. The first one is I did phone banking for the last presidential for Clinton and then the prior for Obama. So it sounds like a totally new process.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. And so just to sort of amplify what you said is that once you do it, everybody, it's going to make a lot more sense. And then I don't typically use Firefox. So I'll just go and either see if that's just on my computer and I just typically use Google, or if I'll need to do something special to get it, right?
Yeah, it won't be on your computer. They never load it. Yeah, definitely. They don't load on your computer. You have to go to the website and just. It's really easy download though. Super easy download. Yeah.
Okay. And that's really it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I thought of the second question. How do I know that the campaign is using Through Talk?
I don't understand your question.
Well, there's a whole bunch of variety of.
I see. On Mobilize, you mean on Mobilize on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know half the time. So that's really kind of annoying. So, and I get it. Sometimes they'll tell you they're using VPB. They're doing more, and you don't want to use VPB unless you absolutely can't use Through Talk because VPB is the old system and it's super slow and you don't get to talk to anybody. So I don't recommend it unless you absolutely have no other choice. So the beauty about it though, now that you've met me, I give you all the state links you want. Now you're going to be in my system. You're going to be in our system. So you're going to come to my phone banks. I'll send you out emails with all of the links you want. You can text me one day and go, Maitri, I want to do Texas today. Okay, I'll send you Texas. Whatever you want. Now you've got me. You don't have to worry about it. And you can do it whenever you want. You don't have to do it just on a Zoom call. You can do it whenever you feel like doing it. I have half an hour. I'm going to get up and call Texas today. Right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, I recommend, though, if you're going to be doing it by yourself, don't start before 2 p.m. on the East Coast side, because you don't want to start too early because it'll be too slow. You want it to be fast enough. There has to be enough people on the dialer to make it worthwhile. So 2 p.m. is usually the start time I would do, because that's 3-hour time difference on the East Coast. That would be perfect. You know, and then at 6 p.m. on our 5:30 our time is too late for that from the East Coast. Then you can switch to Nevada or Arizona. So yeah, plenty of work to do. So, and we're going to give you, I'll give you 2 links today in the chat box that you can copy. So I recommend you click on the links in the chat box. We're going to be putting chat box links in there, the Through Talk links in. You click it once, get it into your browser, or copy and paste it into your browser, and then bookmark it. And then you won't have to come to me again. You have it bookmarked and saved for the rest of the election.
Want me to put those in now, Maitri?
That would be awesome. That would be great. Excellent.
So these are links to the Through Talk dialers for 2 states. And here they come in the chat box. One's Arizona and one's Nevada. So it's early enough now if you wanted to start dialing now for a little while.
Yeah, if you don't want to do the live demo and you want to just do it, then
where are you seeing those links?
You have to
click on the chat icon.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, so you got that. So do you have any more questions, Larry? Are you good for now?
Good.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So who's next? Anybody have any more questions? You want to do a live demo? Ready to do a live demo? Raise your hand if you want a live demo. Okay, excellent. Almost everybody. Okay, great. All right, so let's try to do that. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen up here. I got to get my, all right, Through Talk, Florida.
Oh, Jesus.
So let's see here. I'm going to do Nevada because Nevada they're nicer to people. Okay. They're easier. All right. Let's see if this works. Can you see that?
Yes.
Everybody sees that. Okay. So it's Nevada. So let's see. That should work. Okay, so I'm going to put my information in, like I said. Just put it all in. 95409. And then I click Get Login. And you can tell what state you're in because it says NV, Dem, so you know you're in Nevada. That's how you know what state you're in. Okay, so you double click on the and I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm on a Mac, so I'm doing Command C, but if you're on a PC, it's Control C. And then I click in here, and I can Control or Command V, go back up to the passcode, double click it, and do the same thing. Okay, let's hope this works. Yay, it's working. All right, looks like we've got only 1 state, so that's great. Only 1 list, right? See the service right there? It has the list popped in, so you don't have to click the down arrow. It's already got the list in there. They want us to do that one. See my computer audio. I'm gonna go uncheck it so I get that phone number. And I click sign in. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the phone number. And you need to put the phone number in fairly fast because it will disconnect you with that passcode if you don't put it in fast enough.
So you're calling from your cell phone.
Yeah, I have my cell phone right here. People can see me.
Yep. So you're dialing into the dialer with that number and passcode.
Number, and then I'm listening. You guys can hear it if I turn it on.
Your pin, then pound.
Please put your pin in and then pound. So I'm going to put my pin in 136 8482. 8482 pound. Is that right?
You are now connected.
I am now connected. Now notice it's saying click here to start calling. So it went automatically. So now I'm in. And I have it on a speakerphone because I'm doing a demo. But normally I'd have my headset in and I would just put my phone down. So hopefully we won't have to wait too long. I don't know what Nevada's like right now at this time of day. Let's see.
And you only dial in once.
Correct. Only once. And you never touch it again. You just leave it till you're done with your session. Thank you for stressing that, Sherry. I appreciate it. It's a little slow today. So it gives you time to breathe when it's this slow. Come on. We may have to go to Arizona after all. We'll see. Which is actually great because then I can log in again to show you how to log in again. So that'll be good. You get a second time from you logging in. So you can see it one more time. So it makes it more, actually, yeah, it's not working. Yeah, the campaign is really focusing on, oh, hello? Hello? Hi, is Zena there, please?
This is Zena.
Hi, Zena. My name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I done already cast my vote.
You did? You're voting for Joe? Thank you so much.
Yep.
Oh, I so appreciate, thank you for voting. I very much appreciate that. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon. Or evening. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. So this person's already voted. Yay. So you don't go down. So notice how I went up to the top as I was talking. I'm like, okay, talk to the correct person. I'm scrolling down. Strong bias, strong Democrat supporter. I keep scrolling down. And then it says vote by mail. Da, 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 da. Oh, already voted. Click. Okay. So I didn't think she was going to volunteer. So
that's the survey on the right that you're scrolling through right now.
This is the script. This is the
script. The script. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay,
this
that's
is
the script.
And the left side is the dialer. So now I'm just going through these buttons and I'm at this hang up. Don't hang up your phone. You have to go down to this side here. So now what do I choose now on the left side?
Who knows?
Double click. Well, I talk to the correct person, right? So I double click, talk to the correct person, and I go to save. And it goes back into the dialer. So that's cool. We got a voter. Somebody's already voted.
My tree's back in the queue waiting for another call to get connected to the dialer.
Correct. And you can tell I'm ready. So you can see the upper left corner, it says ready. So you know that I'm actually in the dialer ready to go. It says ready on there.
And so as soon as the details populate on the left with the person's name, then you can.
Customer has hung up. Okay. Keep going. Yeah, so scripts on the right, you know, dialers on the left. So you just, mostly you're focusing on the script until you don't use the dialer on the left until you're ready to move on to the next call. All you use the left side for is to see their name, but the script actually came up first and it had the name built into the script this time. So that was great. They used to not do that. So it's actually easier now to see their name, at least on this one.
Yeah, I find that to be intermittent. It's not.
It's very, yeah, it's really intermittent. I don't rely on that at all because half the time it's not in there. Hello? Hello? Hi, is Norma there, please?
She's deceased.
Okay, I'm just checking in. My name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking to see if all of you are voting for Joe Biden.
I can't vote, but yeah, she passed away last year, so.
Oh, wait. So Norma passed away last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said she was sleeping. I'm sorry.
No, deceased, sorry.
Oh, I thought you said sleeping. You said deceased? Oh my goodness, my dear, I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. My condolences.
She passed away last December.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry you can't vote. All right, you take care. Have a good evening. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, that was depressing. Okay. I thought she said sleeping. This is why it's important to use your headset because you can't really hear them all that well without the headset, with the earbuds. So that's deceased. And then you go on and see, now this is an example of like the recent, but I don't want to do this because I didn't talk to the right person. She's deceased. So I go down to the term codes, click the down arrow. They all pop back up again. And I say, well, in this case, remove number because they're deceased. So I double click on that, remove number, and go on. Okay.
Maitri, do you have to double click on those term codes on a Mac? I only click once on my PC.
Really? That's annoying. I have to do it twice on the Mac.
Really?
What's a really? Hello? Hello? Hi. Hi. Is Bianca there? Those little kitty cats. That was cute. Okay. That's going to be not home. And I'm going to click the term codes again and say no contact and keep going.
Maitri,
Yes.
in order to get to this beginning of this, how to get this rolling, because I actually have done this before, but what do I put in my box at the top to get started? Like if I want to get off this call and start making calls tonight.
Oh, you go to the chat box.
Oh,
in the Zoom and click on that and then click that link. Click those two links, that link Nevada.
One of those two links. Okay, perfect.
And
Okay.
save them. I would click on both of them so you can just save them, like bookmark them. And then you'll have them forever.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, if you're going to do that though, you're going to need to leave audio, okay? Make sure you leave audio on the mute button. Click that little caret to leave audio so we don't hear you make phone calls, okay? Tonight, if you're going to do it tonight. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is Cal there, please?
Yeah.
Hi, Cal. My name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden in this election.
No clue.
What? I'm sorry?
I have no clue.
You have no clue? Would you be willing?
I haven't came to a concrete decision.
Okay. Will you do me a favor then? Can you do me a favor and just type in these 3 words into Google for me? Joe Biden's vision into Google so you can check out what he has to say. I have a sneaky suspicion if you do that and you look at what he has to say and what he wants to do for us, that you're going to actually want to vote for Joe. Would you be willing to do that for me?
All right.
Okay, so write down these 3 words, Joe Biden's vision. Okay, put that into Google. The first website that pops up, you're going to click on it, and then you're going to go ahead and click out of the X boxes that give you money and all that, and just read what it says. It has bold ideas. Every issue that you can think of is on there, things that you care about, and you can read about what he's going to do for you. Okay. All right. Well, listen, do you have an issue that's important to you right now that you want to talk about? Like, what is important to you in your life right now?
There's nothing major. I'm kind of just living it.
You just kind of. Are you registered to vote?
Yeah.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
You are registered. Okay. Are you planning on? Are you planning on voting in this election?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So then please go to that website, okay? Because this is the most important election of our lifetime. I mean, our democracy is on the line. I mean, it's really scary right now. We need people like you to vote. So you willing to make that promise to me? You're going to go to Joe Biden's website and do that for me?
Yeah, I'm going to go there.
Okay. I really appreciate it.
A better understanding.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. You have a great evening.
Problem.
Okay, you have a great evening. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so I ended the call. So he didn't want to get into it and talk about stuff. I could tell he wasn't really into it, but he said he's going to do it. And so we'll see what happens, you know? All right, so now I don't know where to go in this. So now I actually don't know where to go in the script. See, so I actually get that issue too, okay? Because the scripts constantly change, right? So I get stuck in here, this part when it says undecided. So, because there's nothing, he's not choosing anything. So I'm just going to choose healthcare, whatever. I don't know what to choose and say continue. And he's going to say undecided. And then I go to the end. All right. So we'll try one more. And then we'll call it a day. But we're getting a wide variety. We've had Biden supporters. We've had deceased. We've had undecided, which we rarely get. This has been a good session. You get to see the full gamut of how it works. been great. Yeah, it's definitely slowed it. Hello? Hello, is Dominique there, please?
Yes, this is her.
Hi, Dominique. My name is Joy. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic Party. Just checking to see if you're voting for Joe Biden.
For the most part, I do believe so.
Okay. Is there anything that I can help you with, like any kind of concerns or questions you have about his record or what he's doing or for us?
To be honest, no, not really. You know, I know what's going on for the most part. It's just,
It's just what? It's just like,
crazy world we live in.
it's what?
Crazy world we live in.
Crazy world. Yeah, it is.
An opinion cited.
Right.
And, you know, so many different things going on and
Right.
all these, this hard, you know, these non-true articles and everything. It still kind of leaves that wedge of question in your head sometimes, and it just, you know, makes you wonder, I mean,
Right.
what to do or what's going on. But
Well,
I'm like,
yeah, I totally get it.
90% sure that's where I'm at. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your honesty. I mean, I get it. Plus, there's a lot of misinformation out there, so it's hard to know what's real, right? So, you know.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard, you know. Would you be willing to do me a favor, though? I want to ask one favor of you. Would you want to do it for me? Well, I'd like you to go into Google and type in Joe Biden's vision. You don't have to do it now, but at some point tonight or tomorrow, if you're willing to do this, type in Joe Biden's vision and hit the enter key. And the first website that pops up is his website. You have to click out of the X boxes to give you money and all that stuff. Just click out of that. And it'll be a website that says bold ideas. All the issues that you could possibly care about are on that website. And just dig in there. And I'm pretty sure once you dig in there, you're going to be like, wow, okay, it's going to push you up closer to that 100% of wanting to vote for him. Okay.
Okay.
You willing to do that for me?
Yep, sounds good. I will.
I really appreciate that.
I'm organizing my room, but I'll get it done. I'll get it done later.
Oh, thank you. Now, when you do, I'm assuming you're going to vote, so you're leaning Biden, so that's awesome. Are you going to vote by mail or are you going to vote in person?
I'm not too sure. I know my roommate has gotten his mail-in, I think,
Okay.
ballot already. I don't know if they sent him out.
Yeah, Nevada's sending, if you're registered to vote, Nevada's sending them out to everybody. So you're not gonna have to worry about that. So you're gonna get it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, if they're, you know, if I do get one, I'm definitely doing mail-in, but if not, I will be making my way into the office.
Okay.
To one of the places.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna get it though. So they'll say vote by mail. Perfect. Well, listen, thank you so much for your honesty and having this conversation with me. I really, really appreciate it. You know, it's so important. This election's so important. Okay, thank you so much. Well, have a great evening. Okay.
You as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So that's done. Haven't returned ballot, haven't received ballot. Okay. All right. Undecided. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and say talk to the correct person. And I'm going to say not ready because we're done. And click save. So that call is saved. Okay, so now it's not ready. So that's how you do it. That's an example. Like we had 2 undecideds. What? That doesn't happen very often. I was stoked to have that. I like my undecided voters. So they're my favorites to talk to. So I'm going to close this out. Okay, so you have the 2 links in there. I'm going to give you my phone number so you can call me. And my email. So sorry. Let me go to everybody here. So you have my phone number and my email. So you guys, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always check in with me. Okay. And we should also put in, we want to also put in shifts. Actually, you know what might be better, Tom? Is since most people dropped off anyway before I could do the shift. So I'm going to send you the links for the shifts and then you can put it out to the whole list.
Yes.
That would be the way to do it because everybody dropped off early. So, because it was kind of late. So, but yeah, but if you want to do a shift with me, you know, you just text me and I'll get you in our phone bag. We have one coming up this Wednesday. So if you can send it out tonight, that would be great. Or tomorrow morning, that'd be great. Cause then we can get them in for Wednesday shift. And that's coming up at 3 o'clock on Wednesday.
Yeah. Do you have that link right now? Can we just
I
put that
do.
in
I
the
can
chat as
I'll put
well?
it in the chat right now
Okay.
for that link.
Just as a bonus for folks that are
Yeah,
coming in
totally.
there
I'll do that right now.
and are
Okay.
enthusiastic. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you stayed with it and are juiced, having watched the demo, then I'd encourage you to sign up for a shift with Maitri and get going.
There it is.
There
So
you go.
swing left PB last month to turn swing states blue. There's the link for the mobile.
Tom,
Yes.
Tom, are you sending this, are you forwarding that to everyone whose website you or email you have?
We'll send it out, yeah, as a email to folks as well. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'd encourage anybody who is still on, all of you who are still on the call, if you'd like to sign up for a shift, there's one, and you've already got your trainer, and you've had your first training, right? So now you can do a refresher, Kate.
Right. Yes.
And Maitri will maybe even slow it down for you.
And I can even slow down for you. I'll even slow way down for you, I promise.
Well, that sounds like, okay. And the time for that on Wednesday?
That's going to be at 3 o'clock. 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, 3 in the afternoon till 5 o'clock. Our PDT time.
3 to 5.
Yeah, about 5:30. Depends on what's going on, but.
Okay. I don't know what my schedule is, but if I can do that, then I will.
Okay.
I'll follow up with this, but it's it's a lot of moving around from one place to the other on the site and remembering what to do next.
Yes, it's a lot, there's a lot of buttons, but like I said, once you do it, it becomes so much easier. It's just each step. You just focus on that step,
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're really serious about it, I'll do one-on-one training with you. Why don't you come on the Wednesday one if you can do that one? And if you're still struggling with it, then I'll just do one-on-one. We'll just do one-on-one together. Okay. We'll sit down and get it done. Okay.
And I'll make notes.
Yeah, and you can make notes, and we'll just hang out. I'll talk super slow. Really fun.
Pretend you're from Texas.
Yeah, do that southern drawl from Texas. Texas. Well, you guys were awesome. I'm so worried. I wasn't sure what to expect, but you guys were awesome. Thank you.
I think Jill has a question.
I do. Yes,
Okay.
I didn't get your phone number and email. Tom, are you going to send those out to us?
Oh, I'll put it in the chat. Do you have a chat? Is your chat up?
No, my chat's not up.
Okay, so you want to write the number down?
Yes.
Okay, 415.
Got it.
990-8977.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next phone bank.
Yes. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or concerns, or just want to talk about the election? Or polls are up, so yay, polls are up. Yay, polls. Although I don't know if we should believe them, but I'm enjoying it.
Ignore the polls.
We'll take it. We'll take the good news, right?
I do have a quick question.
Overconfident.
Someone has a question, so Stefan.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Yes. So I noticed the username and password. Are we supposed to have one? Do we create one? Or
No, it's automatic. It just generates constantly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it just generates every time. It's different. Yeah. Excellent question. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, is at the top left when you log in?
Correct. Yeah. Top left.
Any other questions? Maitri, I want to thank you for coming and doing this training for us. It's been great. It's especially nice. So many trainings that walk you through everything and they'll say, go practice. But I think in my opinion anyway, I think the ability to watch you do a live demo, I think really takes it completely to another level because it helps people, get their hands around it a little bit.
Right.
And
I really appreciate that. And
and really get a sense of what it's about. And I really want to underscore for everybody who's stayed through the call and is still with us, to the point of the polls, they're up, it's looking really good, and the goal has to be completely overdo everything.
Oh, yeah.
We should be turning out way more voters than we can possibly use. We should be countering as much disinformation, getting as much truth out as we can. And I'd encourage you to sign up at protecttheresults.com, sign up for the rally. Be ready to, not only cast your vote, but stand up for your vote and everybody else's vote in the aftermath of the election if necessary. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we don't have to do that. But we also want to be prepared to do it too, because we're putting in way too much work to let anybody's vote go to waste. So.
Yep. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah.
Now, Tom, did you say you're going to send out those slides on Protect Our Vote?
I didn't, but we will, I can send them out. Let me put my.
Did you want just the link,
email.
Karen, to sign up to an event or?
Well, I see them there. I just thought they were terrific and I'd love to share them with people in my organization.
Sure, thanks. I just put my email in the chat. And so just send me an email and I'm glad to send the deck to you. And then if you want to sign up for the rally, you can do that at just protectthevote.com. So.
That I've done, but I'd love to share those with, I'm from Sister District and I think
perfect.
Those are terrific.
Yeah, great. And I think you sent me your contact information too. So I will just reach out to you. And
okay.
And I guess because we've got Swing Left and Sister District on the call, one of the things about doing the rally, and I just, I've been supporting Protect the Results, but this kind of new information came out of an Indivisible call about a week ago. And so I'm going to be trying to spearhead this, but I'm going to be doing it by reaching out to as many organizations as I can to get the information out to your networks. Because this isn't a one organization thing. This is about getting everybody out in huge numbers to make a show of force and say, you know what, we're not going to let you declare that voting's over and we're not counting any more ballots. We're not going to do that in California. We're not going to do it anywhere else. It's time to actually obey the law and let us vote. So, yes, thanks. And I'll definitely will keep pushing this message out. And if you can push it out to your networks as well, that would be really wonderful.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Mikey, thank you so much for being with us. And we will continue to steer people to your phone banks. We got a lot of work to do and a short amount of time to do it. So.
And I think that's an important way to protect our vote, is to make sure we have a huge voter turnout.
Right.
It's the first most important thing for us to do. Absolutely. The more overwhelming we can be in the results, the better. Absolutely.
The less they can mess with us, right? The less they can say
exactly.
Yeah, and the harder it is for them to spin some kind of alternate story.
Right.
Exactly.
That makes it really hard to do. But I think we need to be prepared for both because we don't want anything to go to waste. And this, as we all know, is one that we cannot afford to lose. So.
Right.
Will there be any update from Indivisible? I mean, another meeting like the last week of the election?
We don't have.
As opposed to, I mean, these are monthly meetings, and so that would put us past the election.
Yes, it will. We don't have a general meeting planned before the election. Was there something that you wanted to hear about before the election?
No, I don't know. I just feel, I look forward to these meetings, and I feel that I go out to my friends and everything else more informed.
Okay, great. How do you usually get information from us? Do you?
Oh, I read everything you said.
Okay.
On your email, yeah. So.
Yeah. So email, Facebook.
No, I don't do Facebook, but I do email, and
okay.
I had to delete 59 political campaign things this morning, and I'm sure there's 59 more tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, yes, I read everything you put out. So, and I do feel that people will come up to me and they'll say, well, what do you know now to protect everything? So I'm only one person, but I do have some influence.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, that's great. We'll continue to put out messages through email, through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and hopefully we'll reach most of you one way or another through the channels that you prefer.
Tom, I have a question. So I'm on Twitter, but I'm a retweeter, right? Just to turn up the volume.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Indivisible or any groups going to be like putting, like, should I go and watch those accounts, those Twitter accounts, to watch them do that, like the Truth Sandwich, you know, in these next 3 weeks, so I can retweet their stuff?
Yeah, that would be a great idea. You can use the hashtag Truth Brigade.
Truth Brigade.
Yeah, hashtag Truth Brigade.
So I'll just look for that stuff and retweet it, no matter who's tweeting it.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think another thing that you can do that will increase the visibility of it is you can quote tweet it, where you add, you know, whatever comment, even if it's just a hashtag or something like that, because it raises its profile. So we're, you know, that's the world we live in, is where we're trying to game automated systems.
Game the algorithms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I agree completely. But for people over 70s, into their 70s, we still talk verbally.
Yeah. Yeah.
To that point, Barbara, I just wanted you to know that Indivisible Sonoma County does meet weekly. Our Events and Actions Committee meets at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, every Tuesday. So you might be interested in joining that meeting. It's typically for 1 hour only. And we talk about various actions that people are taking, what their experience is, share various actions, and just keep each other informed about what we can do.
Great. I do have to say, the majority of my group, my bubble, my extended bubble, have done more protesting in the last 4 years than they did starting in the 60s. So what do you say?
Yeah.
I say it's timely and necessary.
Yeah.
Right. And then we bring it down. I mean, it goes down to the next generation, down to the grandchildren. I mean, so it's a weird scenario we're dealing with, but we're finding we're all dealing with it.
Yeah.
That a lot of this stuff is going down instead of coming up, age-wise.
Yeah. Great. Well, any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Tom, for setting this up for us.
It's our pleasure. My pleasure as always. And thank you again, Maitri. And I'm hoping we're going to have a lot of folks on your next
my next phone bank.
And a bunch in the lead up to the election.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. It was a pleasure to meet all of you today.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've still got the host control, so I'll let you close the meeting. But
okay, I'll close the meeting then. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good
great.
evening.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.